Welcome back, guys. We are continuing on with these Mechabellum replays, and we've got an interesting one up next. I won't spoil the surprise. I'll just say that it's definitely unorthodox. So I decided to go for the speed specialists with the crawlers. See if we could get them bum rushing in. The enemy has got sledgehammers, fangs, and cost control. So he's going to be getting a lot of supply, but his units are going to be a little bit weaker. So they are 15% less HP and less damage. But he gets 100 supply more every turn. So it's quite a significant amount. So I'm dilly-dallying a little bit, trying to decide how I'm going to go about countering this. And I decide for more crawlers. So sledgehammers are good against crawlers, but I have got my own sledgehammers. And I just felt like I needed numbers. And with me taking the speed specialist, I am kind of locked into bum rushing. And crawlers are the only real bum rush unit in tier 1. So it worked surprisingly well, but I had not anticipated that they would have a shield. So unfortunately, we are not going to be able to defeat what's remaining because of the shield. So it was a good choice on his behalf, taking a shield. Early shields always pay off. And I was very annoyed that I didn't quite manage to destroy the shield, so now it's going to persist onto the next round. Okay, so we can see missile strike as an option here, so I'm pretty certain that the opponent's going to choose this. We can't see this apart from on the replay, so I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty confident that he's going to take the missile strike. I'm currently looking to see what I've got to decide whether I want to take the missile strike or not. Now, because he used a shield in the last round, I was pretty confident that he'd just shield from the missile. So I tried to play a bit of 4D chess. First of all, I brought some Stormcallers to deal with the shield, but I tried to play a bit of 4D chess and buy the field recovery to see if I could sell a unit that he was about to missile strike. Now, it was pretty obvious he was going to go for one of the sledgehammers, so it was a 50-50 chance, and I chose the wrong one. Oh dear. So yeah, I was a little bit annoyed about that. I chose the wrong one. So yeah, I was a bit gutted about that. but he's doubled down on his shield strategy. But the Stormcallers do make short work of the shields. So it's cost him 300, which he's not going to get back. He's not going to stay on the field. So, although we're going to lose the round, most likely, it did cost him 300. So it was a big investment that he just spent. Now, Deployment Specialist is amazing. It's the obvious choice. But sometimes you just got to go for something a bit different. And I'd always wanted to do something. And I'm umming and ahhing. I'm taking my time. Do I go for the correct decision? Or do I try something a little bit different? I'm still umming and ahhing. What am I thinking? That's what I'm thinking. I've never won a battle where I've gone heavy on the hackers. And I've always wanted to win one. So because I was kind of losing this tactical decision, I was thinking that it might be worth the risk of taking the opportunity to go for the heavy hackers. Now is as good a time as any to attempt it. Now, I had taken long-range sledgehammers on the first round because I had anticipated going sledgehammers in the beginning. But then obviously I used the field recovery to stop the missile strike, which was probably a silly thing to do. It was just me being fake big-brained, which actually turned out to be small brain. But we get to see the hacker in action with his 500 HP. And he survived quite a long time. He tanked a lot of damage from that sniper. And it managed to win us the round. But is it short-lived? So, we have Incendiary Bomb, which is the obvious, but I'm going all in on the hacker approach, and I've taken super heavy armor. I wanted to see, at this point, I didn't know how much armor it would increase, how much HP it would give. So because I had heavy hacker, which gives 500 HP, I wanted to know if this item times that 500 by 200 to make 1000. But it doesn't, it just makes it 700. So 500 plus 200 instead of 500 times 200. So yeah, I was a little bit gutted that it wasn't 1000 HP, but 700 is still a lot. And I'm doubling down on the hacker approach. And I've gone for multiple control to try and take control of as many of these little units as I can. The whole point of this is to try and pin them in place so the artillery can do the work. And then I realised I'm being flanked. So this attack could have worked if it wasn't for the epic wasp flank that he pulled off. So obviously I left my flanks completely exposed, so it was the right thing to do by him. So I've decided to skip, because I want to get as much cash as I can, to get as many hackers as I can. So the opponent's gone for Electromagnetic Blast, which damages shields. And he's put the missile down. Now, unfortunately, I didn't realise that his missile had finished cooldown, so I didn't sell the other sledgehammer. But I've put the shields on, I've bought barrier, even though he's using his electromagnetic blast, which I was pretty confident he was going to. But I wanted the barriers for the future anyway, and just in case he didn't buy this electromagnetic blast, I wanted them up. And at this point, I realised hackers can't attack air. So I'd put these hackers to try and deal with the wasps. And it turns out, hackers can't attack wasps. It almost worked in pulling them away from the towers though. But unfortunately, 2 wasps got distracted and went for the tower anyway. So it almost looked like I did it on purpose. But I didn't. I thought the hackers could attack air. So that was a painful lesson to learn. Putting 2 hackers miles out of position to attack something that it can't even attack. Oh dear, big brain. So photon emission's amazing, but once again I decide I've got shields up. The photon emission's probably not going to be that useful because it only lasts for 16 seconds and the shields are pretty heavy, so they'll last quite a while. I didn't think that the photon emission would really benefit me. So instead I went for the cash again, because I wanted to get as many units as I could out to try and deal with these wasps that I failed to counter with my hackers. And because I'm going all in on the hacker approach, I was thinking about getting this hacker enhanced control, so anyone I hack gets full health again. But that's only really good against targets that have got a lot of HP, and because he hasn't got any at the moment, I think I changed my mind. But based on the choices that we had, I was pretty confident that he was going to get this flame strike, so I've shielded up just to make sure the flame doesn't kill all of my stormcallers. So this flame strike did absolutely nothing. So as you can see, he hasn't penetrated the shields. That photon thing would have done absolutely nothing for me. And it's worn off now and the shields are all still up. But it turns out that my Mustangs were not good enough to deal with his level 2 wasps. So once again, failed miserably there. But the hackers have done an immense job at dealing with their army, which is incredibly rare. But I'm not sure if I've got any anti-air left. Oh, I have, because I took some fangs off him, so the hacked fangs were the only anti-air that I had left, and they won the round for me. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so the obvious here is orbital bombardment again. Later on in the game, going for spells, if you want to call them spells, abilities, is the obvious choice. So it'll be interesting to see if he shields up against it. He should do. It's the obvious thing to do. But we've got a lot of hackers that have leveled up to level 2, which is going to increase the barrier of their shields. It's going to multiply it by 2. So leveling up all these hackers will give us an extra 25,000 hit points, which is pretty damn massive. They do work really well as a budget shield unit. So we've stuck some more Mustangs down to try and deal with the wasps, and look what's happened. They've redeployed, moved them all back there. So now I've got loads of units that are out of position. Luckily, they're fast units, and I've got speed ability with them. So they're not out of position for too long. But the orbital bombardment absolutely wrecked my Stormcrawlers. But it didn't make any difference because the shields on the hackers are incredibly powerful. So we've managed to just shield all of the damage that they had. So once again, mobilise battleship, it's another ability / spell, whatever you want to call it. The obvious choice. Now I haven't got much air, but I have got these Mustangs down the side, so that is quite a bit of anti-air. He is dropping his Overlord right next to... Oh no, sorry, that's me. I'm dropping it there because I don't want to be aggressive with it. And it turns out that he's dropping his right next to mine, and he's going for a nuke. He's decided he can't win the battle without nukes. So he's doing the cheese strat, calling in the nukes, and I brought in my own overlords so I could use an ability which would then... not an ability. Is it called an ability? Yeah, probably. So I could buy a tech ability, tech upgrade, that's what it's called. And then the call-in that I've just called in will benefit from the tech upgrade, basically. So, and also, he hasn't got hardly any anti-air whatsoever. So, taking some air was a really good decision. But, now I see the nuke, and I think, well, if that's the only way you can win, then go for it. So he took out 2 hackers and 2 Stormcrawlers, but he hasn't got any anti-air left. Oh, tell a lie, he's got 1 sniper, which is not going to be alive for much longer. So yeah, these hackers have done an incredibly good job in this battle. But bringing in these overlords is what won us the round, and it won us the battle. So yeah, a very, very unorthodox approach. I only did it because I got the heavy hacker ability come up, and I'd never won a battle with the heavy hacker ability, so I just wanted to try it. And although I messed up here, not realising that hackers can't actually attack air, it turned out alright in the end anyway. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. It was definitely an unorthodox, interesting battle. Join me in the next one, and we'll see what the next one holds. So cheers for watching, take care, and I shall see you soon.